What's going on YouTube? This is KicksArt here to show you how to draw the Yeezy Boost 350 V2 step by step. A lot of this is going to be done utilizing the two squares that I make in the very beginning, so it's important that you get this part right. You have your baseline. The first thing you'll do is determine your width, and with that you're going to put a line in the middle. So all I'm doing is now making straight lines above where the marks were originally placed. From there I'm going to divide the two squares into top and bottom halves. I'm not using the ruler, although you can. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Next, I'm going to take the bottom left quadrant and divide that bottom baseline into halves. And after I have that half, I'm going to divide it into a half one more time. This is going to give me a good idea for the positioning of where the heel is going to come up on the bottom of the outsole. And then on the bottom right hand quadrant, I'm going to divide the baseline into halves as well as the right hand side. Next, I want to create that initial line that is going to cover the back part of the outsole. Then I'm going to establish the middle part of that center line connecting both of the bottom quadrants. And the key for this next part is to have the outsole start at its high point, go underneath that center line, and stay underneath when it reaches the right hand side. Now I'm going through and I'm adding the bottom ridges. Although for the moment I'm just going through and making a single line, so that way I can get a good idea for where the spacing is going to be. If you want a number count for how many ridges you should have, put 20 to 25 and it'll look just fine. After I've already made all the lines, then I'm going to go through and give them some thickness and some depth. And remember, at this point I'm not worried about perfection, I just want to get a good idea for how it's going to look. Next step is to determine the tongue. So look for the 3 points that I just placed on the screen. I have one that is closer to the top middle. I have one line that separates the top left quadrant on the bottom in halves. And then I have another point that kind of sits towards the upper left-handish corner of that top quadrant. Notice the bottom part of the sock outline doesn't touch the middle line. It gives it a little bit of space. Now for the heel, all it is connecting those two endpoints. And then the same thing for the front of the shoe. You just want to make sure you give it a nice curvature so that way it flows evenly. You can see I'm going to go over this line a few times because I feel like towards the front of the shoe it's a little narrow. That's the beauty of using pencils, as you can fix the mistakes that you think you might have. And especially if you're new to drawing, the key is to not apply too much pressure onto the paper, so that way when you go back and you fix those mistakes by erasing them, it's more forgiving since you don't have all these marks all over your paper. Now the next step is to apply the laces. The easiest thing you can do to start is to put that first lace where all the intersecting points are, and then from there add the surrounding laces. The key for this part is to not have the laces to go down too far. You can see that that bottom lace doesn't extend past the halfway point for that quadrant. Next I'm going to add the pull tab. You can see that when I add it, it's a little small, so I go over it a few times to make it a little bigger. Again, that's the benefit of using pencils. You can fix your mistakes right there. Now I'm going to add the stripe line, and to start I just want to get that basic line going to see where it flows. From there I'm going to add those little ticks that they have, so that way it goes down a bit. And it's 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. Placement from this isn't too important, just space them out evenly between the top and the bottom. Afterward, just add the supply 350 in the center and you are done. Alright guys, the rest of the video is just a speed drawing of me doing black grading over the sneaker, giving it some color, giving it some life. Let me know if you guys enjoy these types of videos, if this is more helpful for those that prefer the step-by-step commentary. And then definitely let me know which sneaker you'd like to see me do like this next. Alright guys, see you tomorrow. Peace.